You're listening to a New York Jets episode of the Jacob Valk Show. He's breaking down the team's latest goings-on as only he can. Follow him on Twitter at RealJacobValk. Here he is, Jacob Valk.
Hello, Jets fans! Welcome to another New York Jets episode of the Jacob Valk Show. I am the Jacob Valk, except no imitation. Let me ask you something, Jets fans. What's worse? The loss last week to the Bills, when the Jets got blown out 45-17, or this game? A winnable game that the Jets blow. That they don't play well enough to win. Like, that's the thing. People say, oh, I don't want to get blown out. I'm tired of the blowout losses, losing by 30 and stuff like that. I just want to win. A loss is a loss. Both losses are equally painful. I mean, the Jets really should have won this game, but they blew it. The sad part is, Robert Saleh's decision to start Joe Flacco sorta kinda worked. I mean, Flacco nearly threw for 300 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns. Yes, he had the killer fumble in the red zone, but he's not the reason that the Jets lost. The Jets' offense was actually solid. Michael Carter looked good. Elijah Moore looked really good. Nice to see him coming on strong these last few games. Jamison Crowder looked solid. We were all criticizing the Jets to start Flacco over White. We'll never know what White would have done if he started this game. The Dolphins did blitz a lot, there's no question, and Flacco handled it really well. Made quick decisions, got the ball out of his hands quickly, only turned the ball over once. But you can make the argument that was more on the Jets' O-line than anything else. I don't want to say the decision worked, because the Jets lost. But it didn't cost the Jets the game. What cost the Jets the game was their anemic defense. Hallelujah! They didn't give up 30 points. But Tua Tagovailoa had a really good game. One of his best games of the season. The guy completed 27 of his 33 passes for 273 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yes, he threw the really bad interception to Ashton Davis. But that was really the low watermark for him. You've heard of the high watermark? That was the low watermark. Myles Gaskin was really good. He averaged just under 4 yards a carry. He was really bullying the Jets D-line. I was not impressed with the Jets D-line. I saw some people saying, oh, they were really good. They were getting a good initial push. No, they weren't, okay? Quinton Williams is really bad. Quite honestly, if you wanted to call him a bust, I wouldn't be mad at you. At the end of the day, this guy should be having more of an impact than he's having. And to me, he's just been really underwhelming. John Franklin Myers had a killer penalty that I'll get into in a minute. Nathan Shepard wasn't anything special. Sheldon Rankins wasn't anything special. You can't allow Gaskin to look like the second coming of Larry Zonka. I mean, come on, that's not going to work. And Mac Hollins torching you on a 65-yard touchdown catch? Are you kidding me? Jalen Waddle looking really good. Mike Gesicki looking really good. Durham Smythe looking really good. Tua had his way with this anemic Jets secondary. And the linebackers too. CJ Mosley was dreadful. Delshon Phillips isn't anything special. Quincy Williams was actually solid. He had 10 tackles. He led the Jets. I mean, I don't think he's terrible, but in a perfect world, he's not starting. In a perfect world, he's not playing the majority of the snaps. In a perfect world, he's a backup, okay? He just is. But this Jets secondary, Ashton Davis got burned on that Hollins touchdown catch. I understand that he had the interception. And good for him, it was a nice pick. But you've got to do better than that. Isaiah Dunn was getting burned. Bryce Hall wasn't impressive. Elijah Riley wasn't impressive. Jason Pinnock had a terrible penalty. The reality is, these just aren't NFL players. Seriously. Who on the Jets defense plays for a Super Bowl winner? I'm asking you. Maybe Michael Carter? That may be it. I understand that they're without some key pieces. Marcus May and Carl Lawson, just to name two. But come on. That's Salah's whole philosophy. Next man up, right? You tell these guys they're not backups. The difference between a starter and a backup is just reps and opportunity. Oh, God. Look, maybe that rah-rah stuff works in the locker room. Maybe it works to motivate these guys, but when it comes to play on the field, it just doesn't work. This was a winnable game for the Jets. The Dolphins are not a very talented team. Alright, they're now 4-7. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Congratulations. But no one looks at the Dolphins and sees a playoff team. At Jet Life? Come on, you've got to win this game. Instead, that's the performance you put out there? You allow a touchdown on the opening drive, the Dolphins march down the field? That's not going to work for me. Big moment. 2nd and goal. At the Dolphins 5. The game is tied at 7 at this point. All the Jets need to do is not turn the ball over, and they have the lead. Instead, Flacco fumbles. Not his fault. Bad job by the Jets O-line, but still, that's just a killer turnover. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Flacco was underwhelming. He wasn't pushing the ball downfield. He was throwing a lot of checkdowns. Yeah, that's what Mike White did against the Bengals. You can win that way. Come on, be fair. Okay? It's alright if you didn't want Flacco to be the starter. It's alright if you wanted to see more of White. It's alright if Flacco doesn't excite you, but you've got to be fair. Joe Flacco is not the reason that the New York Jets lost this football game. You want to tell me the intentional grounding penalty was really bad? It was. There's no question. That happened with the Jets down 7, 5.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Instead of it being 3rd and 5, it was 3rd and 14. Bad penalty. The thing is, though, Matt Amendola should have hit that 40-yard field goal. Alright, that's a makeable kick. Any NFL kicker should be expected to make that type of a field goal, and he didn't. He had a dreadful game. He needs to go. Alright, it got so bad at one point that Robert Saleh sent Amendola out to attempt a field goal, then changed his mind like mid-play. He said, you know what, don't snap it, take the delay of game, let's punt this ball away. That was weird. But logical, because Amendola would have missed a 56-yard field goal. On the next drive, the Jets seemingly bend but don't break. The Dolphins drive the length of the field, but on 3rd and 4, at the Jets' 5, it seems like they got the stop. Then John Franklin Myers gets called for roughing the passer. And this wasn't one of those ticky-tacky roughing the passers either. This was roughing the passer. He took more than 2 steps. You've got to be smarter than that. Just hold up, man. You see Tua let go of the ball. Hold up. Robert Saleh said that was an inexcusable penalty. He was 100% right. So instead of 4th and 4 at the Jets' 5, and the score being 17-14 or 14 all, it's 1st and goal at the 2, then the 7, because Austin Jackson got flagged for a false start. Myles Gaskin punched the ball in for a touchdown. That made the score 21-14 Dolphins. The Jets would never get the lead back. They went 3 and out on the ensuing drive. Then the Dolphins had a methodical march down the field, helped by Jason Pinnock, who got called for holding. And it was a hold. No question about it, but realize that's now 2 terrible penalties that gave the Dolphins new life. You end up extending the drive. That penalty happened with like 5.5 minutes left in the game. Jason Sanders hit the 24-yard field goal at the 2-minute warning. So the Dolphins were able to take off 3.5 extra minutes of clock and kick a field goal because of that penalty. The Jets gifted the Dolphins 10 points and allowed them to run 4.5 minutes off the clock. 3.5 minutes because of the Pinnock penalty, a minute because of the JFM penalty. If the Jets have more time, maybe, just maybe, they can engineer a touchdown drive. Or maybe the Jets end up winning outright. Jason Sanders wasn't at his best today. You're telling me he would have hit both those field goals? I don't know about that. Think about it this way. The field goal that Sanders missed at the half was from 32 yards. If JFM doesn't commit that penalty, he's trying a 23-yard field goal. He hits that field goal, okay? No argument there. But if Pinnock doesn't commit his penalty, Sanders would have had to try a 58-yard field goal. He's not making that. So either the Dolphins punt and the Jets get the ball in their own red zone with 5 minutes left and only one timeout. Not an ideal situation, but very possible. And you're down by 4, 21-17. Or the Dolphins try a 58-yard field goal, Sanders misses, then you get the ball back just shy of midfield. And you can drive down the field and win. Those penalties were killer. Saleh said that 90% of games in the NFL aren't won, they're lost. And the Jets lost this game. Yeah, he's 100% right. Here's the thing, though. What are you going to do about it? Coach, you're 100% right that your team lost this game. What are you going to do about it? Here's what I'd do. I'd make Pinnock inactive on game day. Send a message that if you commit that type of a killer penalty, you're going to be punished. In fact, I could be talked into cutting him. I don't know if Joe Douglas will do that because he just took Pinnock in the 5th round. But I wouldn't be upset to see Pinnock go. Send a message. There's nothing wrong with that. Will Saleh do that? Will we see Pinnock out there next week against the Texans? The smart money is yes. Saleh doesn't strike me as the disciplinary type. He strikes me as the hand-holding guy. Yeah, you made a stupid penalty. It shouldn't have happened, but we're going to learn from it and we're going to get better. No real punishment, a slap on the wrist. There's a time and a place for that. I don't think that this is the time or the place. I think you need to send a message that there will be consequences for inferior play. And it doesn't get much worse than committing a penalty that may have cost the Jets the game. You want to tell me that Isaiah Dunn was just as bad? Yeah, Dunn was really bad. The thing is, though, the Jets have a lot of really bad football players. You can't cut them all. What you can do is cut a guy in Pinnock or make him inactive on game days who commits a penalty that costs you the game. It's not like Jason Pinnock is C.J. Mosley. It's not like he's Quinnen Williams. It's not like he's a marquee player on the Jets. He's a 5th-round corner who very few people had heard of coming out of Pittsburgh. This guy's about as far away from Darrelle Revis as you can possibly get. Robert Saleh needs to send a message that committing that type of penalty is unacceptable. You commit a penalty that may have cost us the game, you're going to be disciplined for it. I don't know if Saleh will do that, though. He doesn't strike me as that kind of a guy, and that worries me. I like Saleh. I've defended him. But if he doesn't send a message and discipline Pinnock, I'll really start to question the kind of coach that he is. There's a time and a place for the rah-rah, pat-on-the-back stuff. And there's also a time and a place for discipline. These are grown men we're dealing with here, not little kids. This is the NFL. And when you commit a penalty that was clear as day and may have cost your team the game, I want you to be held accountable for that. If Saleh doesn't do that, I'll really start to question his ability to be a head coach. You'll get another one of these shows next week. Regular episodes of The Jacob Valk Show come your way usually every weekday afternoon, but seeing as though Thanksgiving is Thursday, you're not going to get a show that day. You're not going to get a show on Friday also. So it's just a 3 or 4 day week, depending on how you view these Sunday shows. Also, you'll get a Brooklyn Nets show tomorrow night. Until next time, I'm Jacob Valk, and always remember, if you disagree with me, you're wrong.